Hey everyone, it's Laura here from makingcardsisfun.com, and today is D-Day because I'm showing you my updated craft room. I've been posting some sneak peeks at my Instagram accounts of this room when I was reorganizing it and redecorating. So now it is ready to show you. So the first thing you see when you walk through the door is my desk, and I still have the same desk from IKEA, and it is the Mikey desk. So I changed some things on my desk. I just have some more space on it right now. So I still have this really cute gnome, and it was first on my shelving unit, but now I have it up on my desk. Then next to it I have an orchid, and you're probably going to see a lot of plants and flowers in my craft room because I just really love it. It just brings a little bit of nature in my craft room. Then I also have these half globe little lighting thingies by IKEA, and these are just really cute when it's dark, and I just really like it. Then my desk lamp is also by IKEA, and it works great for me, but I actually mostly make cards during daytime, so I don't really need a lot of these desk lamps, so I only have one. Then next to it I have two little containers and then also a drinking glass that I use for my paintbrushes. And this is the glass that I use as an inspiration for the card that I created in my last Saturday STEM Day card and video. So over here I have these two little white containers, and I just store my adhesive in there. And then in the other one I store my scissors, tweezers, my Wink of Stella pen, and then also a stylus tool. You know, I used to have this green grid mat as my work surface, but now I actually always use the Ranger craft sheet. It really works perfectly for me. You can use it with water, you can iron on it, it's really great. But when I use like my little cutting knife by Fiskars, then I just use this glass plate because of course you can't like cut in this because then you will damage your work surface, of course. Okay, then I also still have my pretty little pink Fiskars Surecut, and then next to it I have my box of stamps. So it's still the same little box, and this box is also from IKEA, and I just made these little dividers. So this is a piece of cardboard, and then I just put a piece of printer paper on it, and then I laminated it, and then I also gave it a little label. I store all my stamps in these Avery Elle stamp pockets, and I really like these because they are really great quality. So I just put a little piece of paper in there, and then I label it. Now sometimes I also buy stamps that have coordinating die cuts, so I actually also store these dies in the Avery Elle stamp pockets. So I just have like my stamp set on one side of the pocket, and on the other side I have my die cuts. Okay, then above my desk I have these three frames, and they have some really pretty photos in them. So the flamingo and the palm tree photos are from Pinterest. By the way, I'm going to link to all of the things that I mentioned in the video YouTube description, and then also on my blog. I'm also going to link to my Pinterest board that I used as an inspiration for my craft room. So you can just find all the photos, like the photo of the palm trees and then the photo of the flamingo. You can find it in that Pinterest board. The Do What You Love print is made by me. I just made it with some watercolor paper and with distress ink, and then I used some white alphabet stickers to create the quote. Okay, I also have this shelf hanging above my desk, and as you can see I have some tissues on there, a little box of stamps and paper pads. These stamps and paper pads are all Christmas themed, so I just don't have them in like my regular stamp box. And then I also have this little box filled with baby wipes. And as you can see, I also have my tripod on this shelf, and I attached it to my shelf with some regular sticky tape. Okay, so my my desk has 2 drawers, and then in the one on the right I have all my Spectrum Noir markers and also some watercolor pencils, and then also my Fiskars stamp press. Okay, so then in the drawer on the left I have my ink pads, and as you can see I store them in these little boxes, and I made these myself. So these were originally the boxes from Simon Says Stamp card kits. So I just cut the lid off and then I covered it up with some old fabric. So it barely cost me anything because, you know, the fabric was quite old, and then the boxes are just, you know, you get it with your card kit. So I first have my Hero Arts inks together, and then over here I have my Simon inks, and then some other inks like the Versamark and Archival Jet Black. In this drawer I also have all my die cuts and my embossing folders. I store all my die cuts in these little pockets by Simon Says Stamp. These are really great, and they measure 5 inch by 5 inch, so they're kind of small, but they also fit larger die cuts. So I just put a piece of paper in them and then I labeled it. So these pockets are really handy and I would definitely recommend them. Okay, so next to my desk I have this drawer unit, and it's also by IKEA and it's also from the Mikey collection. Okay, so in the top drawer I have these cloths that I use for to clean my stamps, and I also have this little container filled with dimensional adhesive or foam adhesive, and I also store my sticky tape in the back of it. In the second drawer I store everything that I call my office supplies. So basically it's just like my stamp with my name on it, and then my blog as well. Some larger scissors, some removable adhesive, a pencil, my T-square ruler, and I also keep my Stamp-O-Magic in here, and then the stuff that I use to just store my stamps, so like the stamp pockets and the Simon Says Stamp die cut pockets, and also my pink label maker. Okay, so in the third drawer I store all my distress inks, distress markers, and then also the little foams for your ink blending tool. So I store my distress inks in rainbow order, and I use these little labels by Christina Werner to label my distress inks. And I also keep my watercolor paper in here, since I just use watercolor paper and distress inks together. So I thought that it was just really handy to store these together. Then I also keep my distress markers in this empty container. Well, it was empty, but now of course it's filled, and it's by Ranger. And then in that little box, in the little container over there, I store my foams for the ink blending tool. Then in the bottom drawer I keep my sprays in this little container, and I also keep the Studio Calico droppers. Then I have another box of stencils and palette knives, and then also embossing paste. So I store all my stencils in these little pockets. So I actually saw Jennifer McGuire storing her stencils this way as well, and I really liked it. So I just decided to store my stencils like that as well. So it's just like a little plastic pocket with a piece of paper in it, and then I just labeled it. And as you can see, I store 2 stencils in one pocket, so it's just like, you know, then I just use less of these pockets, and it also, it really doesn't take up much space because it's so thin, but I just like to store 2 stencils in one pocket. Then this is my favorite piece of my craft room because it's the Expedite by IKEA. And above my Expedites I have this frame with 3 photos in them. So I have 2 birds that I found on Pinterest, and then this really cute printable that I found at a blog. And again, I'm going to link to my Pinterest board where you can find links to all these photos and quotes. Then on my Expedites I have 2 little plants, and then also a hello stamp. I just thought it was super cute. I also keep my Big Shot machine on here, and I got these door inserts and then also drawer inserts for my Expedites. So in the door I keep my paper. So I use these magazine files to store my cardstock, and then this little box to store my paper pads. I'm just going to show you how I store my paper. Okay, so I keep all my paper in a magazine file, and I just order them in rainbow order. So I just took like this little sheet protector, and then I cut off one side so you can open it like this, and then I just put in my paper and then I label it with my label maker. So it's really easy to just store your stamps like this, and it also doesn't really take up much space since these sheet protectors are just super thin. As I mentioned before, I also got these drawer inserts, and in the bottom, in the top one I mean, I just store all my embossing powders in there. So as you can see, I have this little container, and then I also have a little spoon in them to sprinkle my embossing powder. So I only store the embossing powders that I use the most in these containers. The other ones are just stored in these little, in the other containers by Wow Embossing Powder. And I actually only have Wow Embossing Powder because I'm really pleased with them. I just really love the quality. Then in the bottom drawer I have all my embellishments. So I keep my sequins in here, and I bought these containers for them. So I just have them in the little box, and then I also label them with the brand and then the name of the color. Most of my sequins are by Pretty Pink Posh. I also have a little container filled with my enamel dots and gems. And then I just have some wood veneer shapes, some stickles, ink daubers, and glossy accents. Okay, so this is Ginny's little cubby. She sleeps in here while I'm making a card. She's currently downstairs. She was asleep in the couch, so I just thought, well, I'm not going to wake her. I'm just going to let her sleep. Then I have two more drawers in my Expedites. So in the top one, I store this little container with folded note cards by Hero Arts, and also some envelopes by W+9. I also keep my pigment inks in here and my chalk inks. Okay, then in the bottom drawer I have my baker's twine, some wooden stamps, buttons, and then also these little spoons that I use for my embossing powder. Okay, so over here I have this shelving unit, and I don't know anymore where I got it from, because I've had it for a couple of years now. But on the top shelf I keep some candles, and then also a little vase with a fake flower in it. And then I also have a frame with a really fun quote in it that says, "Do something creative every day." So I really like that. Then on the second shelf I store my washi tape, and I store it in these little mason jars. So I just painted the lid, and then I adhered a Smurf on it, and I colored the Smurf with nail polish. Then next to my Smurf jars I keep my punches in this box by IKEA, and I also keep my corner chomper in here. Then on this shelf I have two boxes. This one is still empty, and this one has some stamps and paper pads in it that are retired, so you can't buy them anymore. Then I also have a plant on this shelf, and then also a frame with the print that I made in the video that I shared on my blog last week. I also have a card next to it, and this card inspired me to redecorate my whole craft room. Just really like the colors, and so my craft room is a little bit inspired by the colors of that card. And I also have this cute globe thingy from IKEA. Then on this shelf I have some empty, I have an empty drawer unit that I still need to fill up with some things from my closet that I will show later on. And then just on the bottom shelf I keep my Simon Says Stamp card kit, and then my bag for my camera. Okay, so over here in this closet I keep all my crafting supplies. So I don't use these things for card making, so I'm not going to show you what's inside because it's not very important, and to be honest, this closet is a real mess. So that's why I still have the empty container over there, because I'm going to use it for this closet because it's such a mess. Okay, so that's it. Be sure to check out the YouTube video description because I have some links to my Pinterest board where you can check out all the prints that I used in my craft room. And I also linked to some of my storage units and like the stamp pockets and the die cut pockets, so you can check it out. So anyway, so that's it. I will be back on Saturday with a new Saturday Stamp Day card and video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!